Welcome to another episode of No Ordinary Woman, where we recognise and celebrate women of all ages and all stages. I'm Fiona Briffa, and today I have the gorgeous Anita Hassel joining me today. Hi, Anita.
Hi, Fiona. How are you going?
I'm good, thank you. I wanted to bring Anita on to share her amazing No Ordinary Woman story about dealing with her son and his drug addiction, and he's just recently been in jail on drug-related charges. She's got three amazing boys and he's one of them. But we just wanted to share her struggles, her journey, and just let you know what her process was like going through this experience. So, Anita, can you just share with us a little bit about how do you manage this? What went on for you throughout this process?
Well, I guess it was a process that was going on for a little while. It started off with not too bad a problem. Obviously, it escalated a lot and quite rapidly. It was just a nightmare, really. That's how it was. A nightmare just unfolding in front of us that we had no control over. And we weren't educated. What do we do? Where do we go for help? How much help do we help? Yeah. Just all of that. It was, a nightmare.
A nightmare.
Really. Yeah.
Nothing can prepare you for that, I imagine.
Absolutely not. No. Never in my wildest nightmares did I think we would have to go through this.
Yeah. Which I am sure most mums and dads wouldn't. But what happens to you, and what goes through your mind when you see your child that you raised and loved and nurtured just starting to deteriorate like that? What sort of goes through your mind, and how do you feel?
Well, seeing a physical and mental decline in him was obviously shocking. Yeah. To see your son change so rapidly from physically how he looked and mentally how he was.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, just a 360 circle, it seemed for me, turn around. The emotions and the anger, all of that, all at once, and not knowing how to help him. Like, they appear to not want to have help.
Yeah.
They think there's nothing wrong with them. They don't see that their drug problem their addiction is a problem.
Yeah.
And that they don't see that it affects everybody in their circle and in their family. They just don't see it.
Yeah, right. I have heard that before, and we recently had another lady narrator that had been through a similar situation, whose son's on remand, and she's like, you don't know what to do, and I imagine that everybody processes it very differently, and I can't imagine how I would manage it. But what happens to you? So you've got this child, you go through all these plethora of emotions towards your child, but what happens to you as a mum?
Well, I guess eventually you break down. You don't cope with everyday living. I become a bit unsociable. I didn't want to see people. I couldn't talk to people. Yeah. I guess just wanted to hide away, really, because I was the only one going through this journey. Like, none of my closest girlfriends or friends have ever experienced it in their life. So I really had no one to go to at all right there and then, because no one really understood.
Yeah.
And I understand that.
Yeah.
But also not having someone there that could guide me or support me was it was just horrible.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
So alone.
Yeah. So life definitely changed, no doubt.
Was it because you didn't think they would understand, or because you just didn't want to tell them?
Probably both.
Yeah.
It was a very hard topic to talk about. It's not a normal topic you have any day.
Yeah.
And I definitely felt alone.
Yeah.
I felt like who would listen, who would understand? Yeah. Well, nobody.
Yeah.
Like, a couple of girlfriends, were at times disappointed in me that I didn't confide in them with different things that were going on with him or us, but I just couldn't. I just physically and emotionally couldn't do it. Yeah. It was just too difficult.
Yeah.
Too heartbreaking.
Yeah. And talking about it makes it real, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And still today I look back and think, where did it go wrong?
Yeah.
As his mother. Yeah. As his mother. Yeah.
This is the thing that even Nerida, who was talking about, is like, you do question, what did you do wrong? I think it's really important to know that it's not something you do when your children are adults and they make decisions. It's because they're going on their own journey. But it will be very hard as a mother not to go, what did I do wrong? How could I?
Always asked, you know, what did go wrong? What did I do wrong? What did we do wrong as parents?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Have
like
you
nothing.
come to the conclusion that it wasn't you, that there was nothing you could
Yeah,
do?
now I have. Yeah. It took a long time though.
Yeah.
A long time.
Yeah.
From this journey for him has been going for 8 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, from the start to just most recently him getting released from jail. So it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how does that impact the way you feel about your child? Like mothers, we know our job is to unconditionally love our children. We don't have to necessarily love what they do, but how does that make you feel about yourself? Like, I imagine that the anger towards them, you know, for why would you do this to yourself and all of those other things, but do you feel angry or guilty because you're feeling that way towards them? Because I know mother guilt is real. Does that happen?
Initially there was the anger.
Yeah.
How could you do that to yourself, to your loved ones? Just how could you be doing this to yourself? How could you be killing yourself?
Yeah.
How? Just seeing him suffer and him not even being aware of it for me was terribly difficult as a mum.
Yeah.
Like just seeing him, just the change in him, his skin, his weight, his whole mental health state changed rapidly. And it would just skyrocket. He would go off the grid. He would be uncontactable. It just went on. And different scenarios and stories all the time of what was going on. And I only know probably half of it.
Yeah.
Don't even know that probably.
Yeah. And it's, you know, maternal instinct kicks in. You're like, you know, when your kids are little and they're sick, your maternal instinct kicks in and you pat their head and you make them better and you do everything you can. But that power is taken away from you when they're adults, isn't it? And you just can't be the mum you want to be and just snuggle them all up and make them all better. That would be
at that age. No, you can't do that. They don't want that anyway. They don't want that closeness. Yeah, they're really distant
because they're probably really feeling bad about themselves anyway. So they're distancing you, like you were distancing your friends because you didn't want to talk about that to them.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is like, if there's anyone watching to sort of work out how they would manage something like this if they're going through something similar. And I know as a trained mental health support person, the importance of getting help early and not letting it go on. Can you talk to us about the impact of not having anyone to talk to or not reaching out for support on your health?
I probably didn't reach out early enough, probably nowhere near early enough. I probably just closed the door on it really and thought it's not going to go away, but the problem can be just mine. I didn't want to have my problem to be anybody else's. I did reach out at some point to a mental health team. I didn't find I got anywhere with that. For me, it just wasn't helpful. So I decided to stop that. And then I obviously had a couple of moments of my depression obviously got worse. My anxiety got worse. I actually felt very unsafe in my own house. So I ended up putting up video surveillance. I ended up just losing the plot, I guess. Just those emotions, they take hold really. But you know, through this I managed to still work. I don't know. You know,
wow,
incredible probably, but you know, for me, without my work, I probably wouldn't be here today.
Oh wow. Because work is like an escape where you could just go and switch it off.
Well, I can turn it off at work and I have to turn it off at work. So that's what I did. When I got to the front door at work or to the car park at work, it just had to stop. And I feel myself that I did pretty well, like just closing that off just like that when I got to work. I might have had a couple of days here and there where I wasn't traveling the best, but, you know, like I never took extended mental health leave. I never took any leave off whatsoever through the whole time. So, you know, I guess I coped okay. Yeah.
This is what I mean by no ordinary woman. Like, you look at how strong and resilient women are when you're faced with something that someone from the outside would look at what you've been through and go, oh my gosh, how did you do it? But you do it because you gather the strength.
You just have to.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to get them through it. You've
Yeah.
got to get them through it. So, yeah, it is a tough journey for the mum. Yeah, definitely. I don't know. You become a lot stronger. I'm a pretty stubborn and independent person too, so I guess that's helped me as well.
Yeah.
I certainly had love and support from my nearest and dearest. Yeah. It definitely has changed my relationship though with a family member in one of my sisters.
Right.
Yeah, we don't associate with one another anymore. Yeah, and that's because of this journey. Yeah.
And how does this change you as a person? Like, how do you feel different from the beginning of this to now? I mean, obviously it isn't over because you're still growing and healing, but how do you feel this has changed you?
I probably look at life differently. I look at life, it could finish tomorrow for any one of us, not just myself. I look at life as being so much more precious. And my bucket list of things I want to do in my life is definitely there, and I'm going to tick them all off. I'm just going to do it. Yeah. Because, you know, I'm not here forever. None of us are here forever. So I feel that there has been some learning come out of it for me. And I feel my heart race when I hear anything about drugs. My heart races because I know what those people are going through, and I know what their families are going to endure. And it's hell. Like, it's hell. Yeah.
It would be. Did you end up finding a support network or professional support in the end?
No. And I guess you could put that back to my stubbornness as well, definitely. But, you know, during that time, I felt like I was pretty much the only one dealing with this. And I did actually connect to a couple of things on Facebook, through Facebook. There was a couple of people going through similar situations and different stories, but same situation. I've connected with them through Facebook, through Messenger, and I actually still keep in touch with those people today. There's just 2 women that I have connected with, and they've got very similar stories. Their loved ones are still in prison at the moment. So I feel I'm supporting them through the rest of their time. Their son is in prison. So that's, I guess, a nice thing for them.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like you're being able to use your story and your journey to help somebody else at this
point. I guess just that feeling of hope. Like, there's hope for them, and there's hope for their son. He will get out and he'll get on with life, and everything, you know, hopefully for them all will be much better and brighter.
And I think do you think that's the hardest thing, is to, when you're in the midst of it, to see the end or the light at the end of the tunnel? Is that what?
I think so. I think seeing the light is good, but it also brings other emotions as well, if that makes sense. It brings added anxiety too, because you're in fear, I guess, of them relapsing and then going down a similar or same journey as, you know, obviously you hope that that doesn't happen, but, you know, there's every possibility it may or it could. There's that worry, I guess, you know, of them sliding or relapsing. We can only live in hope, really, can't we?
Yes. Hope is something that we can always hold on to. And there's, I guess we know with life, there's 2 ways that everything can go. There's always a fork in the road every single day, and it's we get to choose our own. But when we aren't in control of what someone else chooses, I guess the challenge would be to try not to fixate on them taking the wrong the wrong path.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just thinking with anyone watching, just to reassure you that everyone's version of this, even if you've got a similar story, you might look at Anita and think, man, she did this all by herself. Should I be so strong, and should I be so? No, because you're different. You can be different and go on a different journey. So somebody else, it's not bad if you need lots of support and you need your family and you need counselling and all that sort of stuff. There's nothing wrong with that as well.
No.
I think your advice, Anita?
Yeah, I did have counselling like for a short time. I felt overwhelmed with it. I didn't feel it was getting me any further. I didn't feel like it was healing me. I'm sure it helped me in some way, but I just felt that I just couldn't do it. I just wasn't getting enough out of it for me.
Yeah, exactly.
That's nothing to say that later on down the track that I won't look for some additional help. Yeah, so whatever, I'm open for it. So
yeah. Exactly. And I think importantly, there's no right or wrong way to do version of this journey. I think it's whatever you need at that time. If you need to retreat. If you need to reach out. But you go into your own coping mechanism, and there is no right or wrong way to do it. There's only your way. There's only
I often felt like the feeling of running away. That was probably often when there was a trigger or something that set me off to think about the journey and how it's been. I would feel that feeling of just running away, like from everything, like just taking off, not coming back, just clearing out, really, like
just check out of everything.
Checking out.
I can't even imagine, but I know that there's people watching that can really relate, and it might be a different version of it. Obviously, everyone's got a different version of it, but I think a really strong message is to know that there's always hope, to not give up, to do it in whatever way that suits you as well. And I guess that everything can be rebuilt. Like houses can fall down and be rebuilt, relationships can be rebuilt. And on that, how do you see yourself rebuilding with your son? What does that look like?
It looks good right now. It looks fine. He looks happy. He looks healthy. He's been reunited with his girlfriend he had at the time of all this, and he has a son as well. So to see him be amazing with his little, like he missed out on a lot whilst in prison. So he's just rebuilding a relationship with him, and to hear his little fellow say daddy, it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. So if it can all stay like that, we'll be very happy.
That makes the mummy's heart feel glad, doesn't it?
Absolutely. If they're happy and they're healthy,
that's all that matters.
Absolutely. Definitely.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Well, that's the thing, that there's always hope. And once again, we're reminded that our past doesn't determine our future, and our actions don't determine who we are as a person. Like our occasional bad decisions, which we've all made, doesn't define who we are or what we are becoming, isn't it?
No, that's correct.
So your final words of encouragement or advice to any mum watching this who's got a kid a little bit off the rails at the moment?
My advice would be, have your eyes open. Don't always believe what you hear. Particularly probably in small communities and small towns. Often a lot of it's true, but my biggest thing would be about do not enable. Looking back now on the journey that we have just been through over the 8 years, we did a lot of enabling at the start, not even knowing what enabling was, how we were enabling him, and how we enabled him to continue doing drugs.
Right, okay. So what does enabling look like?
Enabling looks like from the very beginning, just a little text message saying, can I have a little bit of money for groceries, or, I don't get paid till Tuesday, or, just or anxious messages or blunt messages, or just that feeling of something's maybe not right,
Yeah.
and you enable it
Yeah.
without even knowing.
Yeah.
Giving them money, helping them pay bills, getting them out of trouble. That's all enabling. There's a lot of enabling that I can see now that I never in a million years could see at that moment.
And I
Yeah.
guess at the time it just looks like helping your kid.
Yeah, being a mum.
Looks like, and maybe even when we see something, not wanting to even admit it ourselves, like
Yeah.
just go,
Yeah.
let's just help them, and hopefully all my help and love will make it better.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah. Just that enabling is huge. That would be probably one of the biggest things I could say was
So
big.
cut it off and call it out.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's got it. And look, honestly, it takes a long time to get to that point
Yeah, right.
of stopping that enabling, because you really aren't aware of it. So many ways of enabling their behavior and making excuses and covering up.
Right. Yeah.
It's not okay.
Yeah.
It's just enabling that problem to continue. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, that is very good, and I will leave a link in the description of this video for helpful resources if you are going through, or if you are concerned about a child or a friend or anything like that. And I just thank you so much, Anita, for coming on and just being so honest and sharing that story with us. And we wish you all the best for your journey of repair and restoration with your relationship with your son, and also for yourself as well.
Thank you, Fiona.
You're so welcome. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Please leave your comments and thoughts down below, and we look forward to catching you next time for another episode of No Ordinary Woman. Bye for now.